Number one in fast fun, Seminole Power Sports.
It's not aggressive enough.
Yeah, that wasn't.
Yeah. You need to scream it.
They'll hate that.
Yeah.
They will absolutely hate that.
Because it's power sports.
Number one in fast fun. Woo! Seminole Power Sports.
I'm heading to Seminole Power Sports next week to drop off my son's Polaris Outlaw 50.
Okay.
Because it needs a carburetor rebuild,
all right.
and I need to fix the steering bearings that are all off.
When you're there, can you, or maybe I'll tag along if you don't mind. Are you going with your boys or just you? I want to tag along, and I want to look at the Grom.
No, okay, yeah. The showroom is great.
I'm looking at the Grom. I'm looking at the Honda Monkey. I want a tiny motorcycle, a baby motorcycle.
I saw one driving down the street the other day. It looks fun.
I'm not going touring. I'm not going crazy. I just want a little something with gears. Now, I love my Ruckus. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But I got the itch to lift my toe a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cruisers, side-by-sides, dirt bikes, four-wheelers, watercraft,
all the
jet
gear.
skis.
Got to have a helmet. You got to have the gear. You don't want to get hurt. And they've got all of the gear. Yeti coolers, Yeti... Yeti makes more than coolers now. They've got like all kinds of Yeti stuff.
Huge supply of Honda generators. They've got a lot of stuff. In Seminole Power Sports North, that's their Eustis location. Mm-hmm. They got Suzuki brand up there, plus all the other brands. So if you're looking for their great service department.
And I've been on the website. Check the used inventory.
Oh, yeah. They'll get used stuff in. They take trade-ins.
People are trading stuff all the time. I got on there and I got sucked into a hole that I probably shouldn't have been. So you can do that too.
Yep. Talk to our contact over there, Don Kuhn. Yep. He'll help you out. It's Seminole Power Sports and Seminole Power Sports North. Welcome back to a corporate time. We got a guest on the line from the Orange County Library System. She's going to tell us about a couple different things. Tatiana Fagan's on the line. How you doing, Tatiana?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you guys today?
Great. So tell us about the Local Wander program.
We've talked about this before. I think last year we kind of dug into this. We had some of our listeners take advantage of it, but am I correct in thinking that this is basically where you take your library card and you make it so much more?
Yes, that is definitely that in a nutshell. So basically the Local Wonder program is, you can kind of imagine it as a culture pass. So not only can patrons come and check out books, but they can also get access free to different museums and activities that, really incentivize learning more about the culture of Orlando. And so right now we have a bunch of new partners that are actually coming on at the beginning of this next month. So that includes the Orange County Regional History Center, Audubon Center for Birds of Prey. The zoo is super popular, Central Florida Zoo, Botanical Gardens. But we also have Orlando Science Center coming on, and I know that's going to be super popular. So we're really excited. We are really trying to expand this program and just really bring new partners on to give more access to people in the community.
Awesome.
So basically, you could use your library card to gain access to all these different places?
Yeah. Yes, so, and it's totally free. I think people try to think like, do I have to pay to get a library card and then pay to use this? And no, getting a library card is free as long as you're a resident of Orange County. And then once you have that library card, you go to our website and you can see all of the different passes that are available on different days.
Yeah, and if you have your library card number, right? And most of the stuff is they already know. So like if it's a let's say one of the passes, let's say for instance, and I may be wrong in this, but I'm just making up an example.
Okay.
Let's say the History Center has some special thing going on, and then they open it up, and then they open it for 2 weeks. So you can, having your library card, you can use your library card or number to go sometime during that 2-week time to take advantage of this special thing that they're offering. It's completely free. You don't have to do anything extra. You have to, really, it's literally rolled into everything. All you have to do is have your number or your card and have it obviously be up to date and, congruent and everything good. And then you just get to take advantage of more. So what the library has done on top of the Melrose Center, on top of the simulators, the software, the classes, the books, the CDs, the music,
the
learning and classes, the friends you can make, the facilities and buildings that you can go to get the different books and different periodicals and things you need. Or you can have this stuff sent to your house, or you can digitally have it sent to your Kindle or to your iPad. On top of all of
celebrity
that,
speakers.
On top of celebrity speakers. Les Stroud, we talked to Les Stroud. On top of all of that, I haven't even gotten to the Florida Wanderer, Local Wanderer. I haven't gotten to it. on top of all of that, now the library says, here, enjoy some of our business partners. Just go and check out what they have to offer, and it's free. More free.
That is incredible. Like, my wife takes.
It sounds like something silly, and we've done stuff like that for our listeners before, and we use a different term. We say we're stupid for doing that. We make it more negative because it's a lot of work for you guys to orchestrate all of these fun and amazing things that you offer. And yes, Tom, so correct. You get all of that for free.
That's awesome. I mean, my wife takes the kids to the science center all the time too, and like,
screw the science center, go to the library.
No, well, sometimes there's a partnership. Sometimes there's a partnership with the zoo. Sometimes there's a partnership with the History Center.
Yeah.
My daughter went to the History Center's camp. They did, over the summer, the History Center did a cooking camp, a children's cooking camp. It was absolutely amazing. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, it wasn't free. So if you have your library card, you can take advantage of that by going to some of their wonderful partners. This cultural pass thing that you guys rolled out, how long have we been doing the Local Wanderer program?
It's only been since 2019. So they had it started before the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened. And, of course, museums and things started to shut down. So we were a little bit more limited on what we could offer. But as soon as we reopened in-person events and museums started to open up again, we also got a grant at the end of last year. And so that really gave us the tools and resources to expand the partnership even further, get new partners, offer more tickets.
Nice.
So it's been really great. And that's why we're excited to reintroduce the program, because it's not technically new, but it's new for a lot of people. They haven't heard about it. They're like incredibly amazed that this is another thing that the library offers. And so we just want more people to take advantage of it.
And like we've talked about this before, it's easy to sign up online, and how long does it take, Tatiana? If like someone's like, well,
that's a good question, because people they love a good, like, is this going to take me like 10 minutes? I don't have 10 minutes.
No, great question. So it's pretty simple. Like I said in the past, you go onto our website, you enter in your library card number, and then once you have that, it will take you to a calendar, and you can see all the different partners that are available and also on the different days. So just so everyone's aware, you can only see up to 30 days in advance. So if I went on today, I could see until the end of March, and then tomorrow I could see until the 29th of March, and so on. But it's pretty easy process. Every partner is a little bit different. Obviously, like the zoo, if I get a pass, I can use it for 2 weeks once that day comes around. But for specific partners where they may have like a show or something, we are trying to make it so like if you sign up for a show, you go to that specific show. So partners know, when their tickets are being used. But I think all in all, it shouldn't take any more, in my mind, than 5 minutes to do from front end to back end. And they usually receive a confirmation email from us very quickly.
Love it.
So, okay.
Solar Bears are on here. You mentioned Science Center.
Yeah.
Enzion. You go to the Enzion a lot.
Yeah.
They're a partner as well.
Okay, so this has to be fact. So if you have a family, right, and you are...
I do. It's small, but I have one.
And you're looking for things to do, like your kids are bored, you're like, I gotta get these kids off the video games, or all they do is want to play video games all day. I'm talking about myself. And so I need to get them out of the house and do something. So then you're like, what do we do? We live in Orlando. So I think a lot of people gravitate towards like the parks or whatever,
That's
right?
going to cost you a lot of money, though, dude. That's $1,000 for a Saturday.
It's like,
yeah.
I know how much that is.
I love the parks. Don't get me wrong, and the parks work with Orlando, and there's a friendship there. Yeah. But it's not going to be cheap.
But I'm just saying, cost-wise, and it doesn't even matter how rich you are, because no matter what, money is $1, $10,
I'm rich in heart, Tom. I'm rich in heart.
So you look at what you get for, like, okay, you're gonna have to go pay for parking. Get in the parks. That's $500 for a family of four.
$35 to park, dude.
Right? Yeah, and then the food. You're right, $1,000 day, right? So, and then you're gonna be hot, and the kids are gonna be hot, and then you're gonna be like, $1,000 stinger. You can get a free library card and get access to Central Florida Zoo, Science Center,
Andy Russell Theater, Solar Bears, the Bach Society of Winter Parks on here, Orlando Shakes is on here, Hard Rock Live partners at times with certain events.
Do you know how mad especially at the end of the day, when it seems like my sons would have been fine with
Something
damn near
simple,
anything.
something simple. Yeah.
They're going to.
Right.
They love the science center. Oh, they all these different things like the zoo. Like a day you go to the zoo, want to walk around, like free.
Yeah. No, I know.
Oh man, it's. I don't understand how I don't even know why you're advertising with this.
I believe you made
more people not know about this.
It sounds as if you made her Apple Watch go off because of your anger.
Quit screaming.
Yeah, why are
I'm
you
sorry.
screaming? It's the first time we've had
I'm
her
sorry,
on. You're
Tatiana.
yelling in her face.
It just
No problem.
It just seems like such a no-brainer for people, to get their
Yeah.
library card and just use what you guys offer for completely free. It really is
Yeah.
amazing. And I also want to talk to you about the women in the arts exhibition.
So you want to talk to her about women? That's not the avenue.
Honestly,
Tatiana, my wife, I want to spice it up a little. What are you doing?
Women
No,
in
and
the
honestly,
arts.
one last note that I was going to say too is just so people are aware that for each partner, you can only use that pass for that partner once during the year. So
Right.
you go to the Science Center once for
okay.
2022, go to the History Center once during 2022, and so on. But I think really the core focus of this program and why we wanted to create it, and we were obviously inspired by other libraries and other places that are doing very similar things, is to make sure that people that don't have the resources or the funds to go to these places and have that cultural experience, they have the opportunity, and really just making sure that underprivileged communities have access, and so we love that this really does put everyone on an equal playing field and say, hey, you have access to this for free with your library card. So it's been really great.
It really is cool to think that if you were a working mom and dad, and there are a lot of them that listen to us every single day that need to pinch their pennies a little bit because maybe they're planning for a bigger trip, or maybe they just hit hard times, or maybe they're still suffering from or trying to get back to good from COVID. You don't really have to cheap out on a lot of the stuff that you want to do around town because the library's got you covered with all these partnerships and different people they work with. So you can save some pennies but still have an amazing cultural experience within our city. Really cool. It's very, very cool. And I know Tom wanted to get back to it before we run out of time. But tell us a little bit about the Women in the Arts exhibition that will be coming up.
Yes.
Is that the 10th and 11th of March?
Yes. So the 10th of March is when the exhibition starts, and it is called Women in the Arts, and it is celebrating the genius of women. And this is actually the 11th exhibition that we've had. So this has been going on for a while. And the exhibition is really to highlight all of the amazing artwork from local artists, regional artists, as well as international this year, which is amazing.
Sweet.
It is a competition as well, so the women are competing for a prize fund as well.
It just you guys offer
are
so
working
many
too much. My God,
so many different programs.
It's like exhausting when all the stuff you have
You're like
going
the
on.
best people I know.
You really are. And Sam said
Aw.
something. Sam said something that could have been slightly problematic in the chat room, but I'm just going to
How
bring it
dare
up
you.
because I'm that type of person. But it appears as if, and we do have you via Zoom, it appears as if the library only hires like attractive
Yeah, that
people
is
that
true.
work at the library. That was said by Sam first. It's like every time we zoom in with you guys, it's like I look
That's
at
part
you-
of the criteria,
Yeah, I
I
look at
think.
you and then I'm like, God, I'm a creature. I am a creature, man. I look like.
Oh, I appreciate that.
We look horrible. I'm going to start doing my makeup. I'm going to start dressing nice. I got to step it up.
Well, Tatiana, thanks for talking to us today. Again, it's ocls.info.
Indeed.
All the information is on that website, how to sign up for your library card to begin with,
Yeah.
because that's where everybody needs to start.
And you will miss something if you don't go to their website. You missed Les Stroud. We had him on last week. You could miss this if you're not aware. So just go there and check everything out. Tatiana, thank you for your time. Tell everybody there we said
Yes.
hello and have a great
you.
weekend, okay?
You as well.
Cheers.
See ya.
See you soon. Wow, that was
Bye.
really cool, man. They're always continuing to roll out more and more rad stuff there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like...
That's the one good thing I feel good about my tax money going to.
You're right. You're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right. We were getting sucked into a bad day there for a second, and then when we talked to OCLS, and then kind of
look at all these services we provide.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
like,
realigns
this is
me a little
cool.
bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Baldwin Park when I pay a lot for these stupid homeowners in deal, but and Tom is right.
If you see them pressure washing, you're like, at least...
I'm
least
okay
it's-
with
yeah.
it. Yeah, when they're cutting sod out and they're planting trees and
I
stuff.
pay my HOA. I don't see him doing nothing.
That's why, like, I think I've talked about this before, but I would like them to tell us, like, all the, like, on a toll road, right? When you pay tolls, I need them to show I need when they build the
Just
sound
did this,
walk.
just completed.
We're just put a sign that says toll money that goes here, right? Because then you'll
That's
see
called
the
a toll booth.
Yeah,
No, he wants a tag on whatever they built, and it just says new. And he's like, look,
this pothole repaired by your tax
Yeah,
money.
look where my money went.
yeah. Put a sign, or if you're building a structure and you're using toll money, I want it to be known, so I could be like, oh, okay, that's because without it, you're just like, well, I'm just wasting this. Where's
All
this
the
going?
toll roads are trash in
I know.
Florida.
They are pretty bad.
I need signs.
And
Where's the money going
They've been
to?
toll roads since the beginning of my life.
Yeah.
I remember riding the
See
same.
what you heard about this one on it, because I don't think that money's going to the roads.
we need to be told more, like the road rangers.
No,
They are
don't toll us more.
No,
That's too many
tolls.
tolls.
Just I need to know, with the Orange County Library System, at least okay, this is funded
Ghost.
by the government, and they offer these programs. This is cool.
In our Twitch chat room, chat member Ghost of Manute Bull, he says, Tom, all of that information about where the money is allocated is found in the budget of any county, municipality, or public sector entity.
Oh.
Where's that at?
We know that. we want
me where-
budget. We don't want to dig to find it. We want to
I want a
sign as
banner.
we're driving. Yeah. Drop a banner or put a light that says, this is new. We just did this. Finish this. Working on this.
But I mean, your money goes here and an arrow. I need to be. I don't want. I'm not going to look at anything.
I'm not going to look it up. I'm certainly not going to type for this. I'm not typing for this.
I need to drive by a banner with an arrow.
Canadian Josh says Dan works in a troll booth. That's just hurtful.
Wow.
It's just a hurtful thing to say. It made me laugh. Let's do some voicemail messages.
Right.
This one was left by Kenny, getting a little too big for his britches.
Tom and Dan and Sam. Hey guys, it's Kenny. Tom, you just sound like a complete old pop-pop when you're talking about how football players with young coaches and everything. You're in your late 30s. You're talking to EJ, who's the same age. You guys don't realize that the NFL is now full of millennials and Gen Z, and they're more empowered than they've ever been with being able to transfer in college, with being able to choose their college when they're in high school. They're social media stars. They need someone that can relate to them. So the wave of young coaches is actually what's becoming more respected in the league by the players. The young coaches understand these younger players as opposed to these old, dumb men who just can't relate. If you look at the final four teams in the NFL in the playoffs, three of them had young coaches because you had Sean McVay, you had Shanahan, and you had the dude out of Cincinnati, all of them young. The only exception is obviously dumb old Andy Reid, who's just a big fat walrus. But look at else who
I do
Listen.
love a dumb, big fat Andy Reid. And I love big fat kid Andy Reid more than anything. That picture is saved on my phone of how large he was at football tryouts when he was a child.
When he did punt pass kick competition.
He's a big giant.
Yeah, there's something of a growth hormone problem.
But then you look at him now and you're just like, I don't see it.
Listen, Kenny, you're probably right, and I was just talking out loud, and maybe I'm saying some dumbass old man thing, and you're right, and maybe the new wave of young coaches is going to be the new thing. I was just asking the question if the dodo players, but I'll just narrow it down, the dodo players that have been used to old men yelling at them their entire football career from Pop Warner to high school, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do they get to the NFL and then they can't understand this young person that's only 10 years older than them being their coach? You're probably right, though. It doesn't matter.
But I wonder if it does happen, you just don't see it because it just gets corrected, right?
I mean, based on the evidence, he's right. Like the younger coaches made it to the Super Bowl, so I guess it doesn't matter. Maybe all the coaches will be in their 40s, and that's what they're transitioning to, and the players will be fine with it as long as you win.
Who's the oldest coach in the NFL currently?
I think it is Seattle Seahawks.
What's his name?
What the hell? Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll. We never
Pete
get
Carroll's
his
in his
name.
70s.
Yes, he is 70.
Yeah.
You know, we knew somebody that worked with Pete Carroll in sports, and he said he was a insufferable individual.
Yeah, well, he's old
Yeah.
school.
He said
you
Pete
know.
Carroll is just an angry, mean old eagle head. He looks like Sam the Eagle from the Muppets. Exactly like
Yeah.
if anybody played Sam the Eagle,
He also looks good for 70.
He does. Yeah.
Like, he looks younger than 70.
he kind of looks like James Woods a little bit too. Big ding
Yeah.
dong.
Yeah.
Let's try this one.
Hey, Tom and Dan and Sam. This is Steve, Fazoli Steve.
Fazoli Steve. Yeah, we were waiting for you to call back.
I did that weird job Wednesday when I worked at Fazoli's. That's kind of what this message is about.
Fazoli's.
I live in Orange City, close to the dark tundra of Deltona. And there's a Facebook group that I'm in. It's a Deltona group, but it's gossips and complaints. And it's very entertaining, by the way, because the people are ridiculous and they argue all the time, and the posts it's just a bunch of nonsense, but I love it. But anyways, one guy posted the other day that he was going to start a franchise, and he was thinking about starting a Fazoli's in Deltona, and he wanted to get everybody's feeling on it.
Slam effing dunk. It would rip the glass out of the backboard. Slam effing dunk.
And this post got like 300-400 comments, and everybody was for it, but I don't see how it could work. There used to be one in Orange City. It went out of
It's
business.
trash food.
And then
Yeah, what are you talking about?
after the novelty wears off,
The novelty.
I mean, why would you even put one in Deltona? The fanciest restaurant is Beef O'Brady's.
Right, so on
I don't
par
know.
with
I think it's pretty
Fazoli's.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Do you think Fazoli's is fancy? You worked there.
You worked there,
You
you
told
know.
us there was roaches in the walls.
I just don't think a fancy establishment such as
Fazoli's.
Fazoli's.
Yeah.
Bring back Quincy's.
It would 100% work in Deltona.
Yo, Sam!
Bring it back. Everybody's nostalgic for it.
I would.
Can we reopen a Quincy's?
I would
Tom and
F-
Dan's Quincy's.
Tom and Dan's Quincy's.
It is
Tom and Dancy's.
Yes.
Fancy Tom and Dancy's. Fancy Tom and Dancy's? That's what
And
we
then-
call it, but it's like the food of Quincy's.
There was a lot
Yeast rolls.
of cash
Love
for
yeast
gold
I'll wear a yeast roll costume.
in Deltona when I lived there, and I didn't understand it because I looked around. I was like, I thought no one had gold here.
Wow.
Why? Like, why are there so many cash for gold?
Well, they venture out and they steal
Yeah.
the gold. And then
No,
they-
no.
Neither
it's
cash
it's
nor
Robin
gold.
Hood
No
does
cash,
it.
no gold. That's what it should have said.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Let's say.
I wonder if they turn themselves around, Deltona.
I haven't been there in a hot minute. At least I haven't been through the. There's an interstate here in Orlando, Interstate 4. You would have to get off of that, and then what's that main road?
Providence.
Is that the one that's got the Zaxby's?
Yes,
Okay, so Zaxby's in
I think-
Deltona still
I don't-
running.
I believe so. Don't know. Though.
Do we have what else do we have? Look up Providence and type in Zaxby's Providence Deltona and see what's on that main strip. Yeah, I need a rundown of what we got there.
Deltona's an odd place in the fact that it's just basically a giant residential community.
Yeah.
That had basically all the roads are spider web throughout. There's no grid system, and it's just a neighborhood built on sand. And then and it was cheaper houses than Orlando. That's why I moved there, because at the time and right before the
I lived there too.
housing market
People
fell.
don't make fun of the fact that I live there. I lived there.
Well, I
and
claimed it a lot harder.
you did. You went hard on the Deltona. I kind of kept
go
it
hard
low
on
key.
everywhere I
King of
live.
Deltona.
Yeah, I kept it low key. That I moved in there. I used it as a financial
Yeah.
trampoline. I moved the hell out of
Is
there.
it the one that's considered to be in Orange City on Saxon Boulevard?
Yeah, on Saxon.
Saxon.
Saxon
We
is
got
what I
a
need.
Colts pig stand. I'm unfamiliar.
I'll give that a pass. Sounds like mom and pop. Sounds good. Sounds like barbecue. I'm okay
We
with
got a
that.
Sonny's barbecue.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I mean, it used to, when I was a kid, Sonny's was legit, but, you know.
Moe's. Welcome to Moe's.
Okay,
We got
there-
Taco Bell and Applebee's.
They
A
got a-
Jersey Mike's.
Wow.
Yeah, they've Texas Roadhouse.
Texas
Oh,
Roadhouse.
that's all I want to do for my birthday.
That's what I want to do for my birthday.
There's a
Would you
Goodfellas
guys,
Pizzeria.
if I invited both of you, and I'm talking, I sent an invitation to your house. First of all, would you get the invitation and open it? Because I don't know how
look
are
through my
your mail. Yeah, you
I
don't
have
look
no
through your
idea.
mail. So if I didn't say anything digitally and I just sent you like a little invitation, like you would have done back in the day, inviting you to Texas Roadhouse for my birthday, would you show up?
Well, I think Crystal looks at the mail, so I think she'll give it to me.
Do you look at your mail? Or does your
Yes,
husband look at your
we
mail?
both do.
God, I'm with you, buddy.
I don't look at
Not
nothing.
one piece. Haven't touched a piece of mail in 12 years, I bet.
Because I'm like, what's in there that I could be beneficial to me?
Well, I
Nothing.
had to get my new insurance cards in
Could
the
be an
mail.
invitation to
Crystal-
Texas Roadhouse. What if I'm having my birthday?
She gets the insurance cards and then leaves them by my wallet for me. Like when me and
Sam.
Dan are, our wives are like our mom.
Call
Yeah,
Texas
they're your
Roadhouse.
guardians.
Call Texas Roadhouse.
Do you
I
do
wanna-
anything like? Do you do any mom things for your husband, or is he pretty much independent?
Yeah. Do you hold him like a baby at all?
Sometimes I pre-make his lunches for him.
Oh,
That's
man.
more of an
Which are
old
just
school
like
wife
making
thing.
smoothies,
Yeah,
so-
yeah. That's
We cook dinner together.
Yeah, I cook dinner with my wife.
No,
do you cook
I'm
with
I
your
do
wife?
most of the laundry. No.
okay.
Do you do laundry? Or does he do laundry?
I mostly do it, but sometimes he does if I can't get to it.
Okay, I never do laundry because I'm terrible at it. I've been asked not to do laundry. I will cook. I'm the cook. I sizzle the pork chops and fry the stuff up. I cook the meats. I'm
We
the meat.
both pretty much do everything.
I'm the meat chef, and then my wife will step in if I am too busy playing Madden.
He actually does the finances, though.
Yeah, I don't do the
Okay,
finances. I don't touch any money. I'm not allowed. It's kind of like the laundry.
Separate bank accounts, so we keep receipts and
Yeah, Shane, you
You
have
know,
a
we're
meeting.
actually considering.
we don't
putting
have a meeting. He just sends me a quick pay request, and I'm like, oh, I owe you $150.
Do you check his work? You don't even know if he's going to be cheating. you.
trust him.
What if he's bleeding you dry?
Nah.
You're pretty fancy. You're podcast queen. You got a fancy ass job. He might be stealing on your money.
Nah.
I don't know. I don't trust him. I'd look into it. Let's just get rid of these angry Kenny voicemails. This guy's a troublemaker.
Tom and Dan and Sam. Hey guys, it's Kenny. I got a T-shirt idea, and it's going to be one of those where only we know what it means. But the T-shirt just says 1 equals 1, 2 equals 2, 3 equals L2, 4 equals W1. And yeah, we all know. And if anything, if you want to add another hidden joke, you can do 5 equals question mark. 5, of course, being squirt. All right, love you guys. Bye.
You're right, Kenny. You've gone insane.
Yeah, well, this guy off his medication. What's happening with Kenny? Have we talked to him recently? These are old
He emailed
voicemails.
me today to try and get in next month.
Whoa! He has lost his mind.
He has. He did that undie run and lost his mind.
Yeah. It only takes one good gay mud. What is it? Like a gay tough mutter.
Yeah.
You do one gay tough mutter and look where you're at.
All right, bye-bye.
Let's try this one. Remember last week we had Zach from Ohio call in and
Oh, man, he was manic that day.
yeah, he made like multiple calls and then but the one that we got through was him telling the story of saving his friend from passing out drunk in
In
the snow.
yeah.
And
And
we
he said
actually
he saved his life.
he said he saved
He's
his
a hero.
life and he said he was a hero and then that friend actually called in.
Hey guys, it's Tim. I'm a BDM from Dayton. I'm actually the friend who Zach said he rescued from the snow. I introduced them to the show years and years ago, too, as a matter of fact. I just I don't call in or participate too terribly much. But to put it to rest and to get it directly from the horse's mouth, I believe with my entire heart that Zach saved my life that night. Yeah.
I
there it is.
I very much enjoyed his real man, like hat in hand, kind of. I'm just here to set the record straight that I would have died that night. You know, like I love that.
Well,
I love that.
Was there any other? I mean, someone else would have probably saw this guy laying on the snow, right? Or was it only Zach?
Only
there?
Zach.
Would
No
you
one-
have approached a man that was just laying in the snow?
Yeah, I mean, if he was,
Hey, buddy.
if there's no one around,
Kick
I'd be
him
like,
over.
Kick him, yeah, do the kick.
And then if he didn't get up, I would like pull him out to see if he's still alive. Like
Call 911.
Yeah. So,
I would actually
someone-
take a selfie first.
But maybe he was like getting covered in snow and people wouldn't notice him.
No, like slowly.
Yeah.
The snow
Oh,
falls.
that's terrible. That's terrifying.
Yellow Jackets.
Did that happen in Yellow Jackets?
Maybe.
My God,
Maybe
that's
I spoiled it for
terrifying.
people.
Don't be spoiling it.
I just need to know
I had to. EJ didn't.
that there was no other possible person that could have seen you. Zach was the last man that could have possibly rescued you or seen you laying there, and nobody else would have ever come by. You know what I'm saying? Like, then it's solidified that Zach did save your life. But then it's hard to know whether you would have woke up freezing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, would you, like, I know you were passed out drunk, but would you have gotten to the temperature where it would have started to burn you and you would have been shocked awake? You know what I'm saying? Like, Or we just sat there and died of
asleep.
You would just die
That's
of
what
hypothermia?
They say, right? I don't know enough about it. I have a feeling he would have lived, but just maybe little
lost some
frostbite.
toes.
Yeah, maybe you messed up, or maybe you make a full recovery and you just have that I've had
weird black nose.
Yeah, why do people get the black nose? That's weird, you know.
Yeah.
And how ironic! I was just out in the white stuff, and then look at me, my nose is black. That's weird.
And then your fingertips.
I don't want black fingertips.
And your toes. You lose your toes. The fingertips.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
I got the Timbos on my toes, and that's the way it goes.
For whatever reason, they're able to save your nose for the most part and your fingers, but your toes
longer.
The toes they amputate.
I don't think they care as much. I think they're like they're your toes.
Yeah, you
they're
can walk.
Toes. They're not fingers.
I think you need your big toe, right? Like
I don't know
for balance.
Something like that.
That's what they tell us.
Yeah, the rest of them I don't think you
need and like when my mom had her neuropathy and she had a few of her toes like removed, it was like I can only imagine it's troubling. Like having a part of your body be removed.
No, yeah.
And you can't move it anymore. But like my toes don't function. If I'm just being honest, I don't think they work very good as it is. Like you ever have like a fitness instructor or somebody will be like, tense up or wiggle your toes. Peloton, they'll tell you on the bike, they'll be like, wiggle your toes in your boots, wiggle your toes around. And I go to do it and I'm like, they're not working good. Like I don't feel like I have good control. Does that make sense? I don't feel like I control my toes well.
Every once in a while I'm walking and then my left foot will drag behind me like a
stroke, mini stroke. I have those.
And then I'll think to myself, I think this is a sign to some sort of MS or something. And then I'll be like, I'm high. That's why. I'll be like, that's probably the reason.
Yeah.
Is that I'm just high and I drag my feet to,
Let's try. Go ahead. We're talking about saving lives. I have another voicemail about saving lives. We get a lot of people that think they're heroes.
So this gentleman that Zach saved his life, right? If someone saves your life and you truly believe that they actually saved your life, if it wasn't for them, you'd be dead, right? Do you owe that person for life if they ever ask you for a favor? Like, let's say Zach, he goes through hard times. He becomes an addict. He's on the streets, and then
you owe them an unconditional life gift.
And he comes to you. He's like, "Hey, I need help."
Ultimate favor.
You
owe them one ultimate favor.
Is it just one?
It's 1 for 1. If you save their life,
but your whole life is now.
No, they can call that favor in at any point in time. Like
it could be anything.
Anything. It is anything because what's greater than saving your life? There's nothing more precious than
life.
What
if it's kill somebody for them?
Sorry, you have to do it. I've played enough science fiction video games to know that a
life for a life.
It's a life for a life. Once you've done it, then this person, and it'll be the time when you've already set up in your hut with your wife and you have 2, 3, 5 children, and you're out of the game. You're more of a farmer, more of a gatherer. But then one day there'll be a rapping on your hut's door, and you'll go to greet it, and you'll see a man that carries the ruby stones, and you'll know. You'll know what you have to do. You'll know that he's calling in the favor.
I imagine that I'm the type of person, like, let's say I need a kidney or something, and then I like someone donates to me their kidney.
I would give you a kidney
to save my life.
I would give you one, but that would save your life, and then you would owe me a life gift.
Well, let's say it's Brandon, right? Since he's here, because
we have a guest here, Brandon. He's sitting. You can't see him. He's off camera. He forgot to put his phone on silent. It's his birthday.
He started screaming the F word.
It's his birthday. Then he started screaming the F word. He's out of control. We had to calm him down. He's in restraints right now, but he's okay.
So Brandon gives me a kidney, and I'm like, because I'm scared I'm going to die, and then he gives me the kidney so I live, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, oh man, thank you. And
you
then
owe
I'm
him
like,
a life gift.
And then I'm like, we'll be friends forever. I owe you, right? And then
friends forever.
And then
that's not a gift though.
It's kind of like a swimming pool. I start taking, I'll take them at the lunch every once in a while.
Kidney burr.
And then I'll invite them to all the parties and stuff. But after a while, I'll be like, man, when's the last time I texted Brandon? And then I'm like,
there's a rapping on your hut door, and he's got the 3
rubies. And then you see all the unread texts from Brandon that you never responded to.
And then I'm like, oh man, sorry.
I need somebody to hold this video camera.
And then 3 years later, I'm like, whatever.
No, he'd shank you at an event.
No, man, I'm like, I got it. Like, well, how much do you really need at this point? I did the 4 or 5 lunches. You know, you're
thought you were friends forever.
What do you want from me?
Now it's only 4 lunches.
No, I'm just saying
that got a little serious. I have a feeling somewhere there's a lister that got 4 lunches. He's really sad right now. That's what this MF thinks of me? I'll kill him.
I'm just saying it starts with like ultimate gratitude, but then it wanes after years.
No, but you're doing it wrong.
You're like, whatever.
You can't choose the ultimate life gift. Just 4 or 5 lunches ain't going to cut it. He saved your life by giving you a kidney. That means that he can call in a favor at any point in time.
Yeah, no, he can, but I'm saying, but he probably won't because that's the type of guy he is. Because the type of guy that would give you a kidney is not going to call in for a murder favor.
It may not be a murder favor. It could be something else.
But all I'm saying is that
he may not be able to pleasure his wife because of ED, and now he needs you to go and sire a new child.
Like, I'd do anything, but he's never going to ask for anything. But I also stopped like sending him birthday gifts and all the stuff that I
didn't do that to begin with. That's all garbage.
How come he gets birthday gifts?
Well, I vowed to do it at the beginning, and I didn't.
I just want the one.
Yeah, he gets to claim what he wants.
He gets to claim what he wants. I don't want your gifts. I don't want your stupid stories. I don't want Gravedigger. I don't want to hang out with you. I don't want a boat trip. Your time, me hanging out with you is nothing. I don't want any of that. I want sometime I'm in a jam down the road, and then I need some help. I'm going to call you. You're going to drop everything that you did because I gave you a kidney. I don't care. I don't want your gifts. I don't want to go to Twin Peaks with you. None of that.
But no one ever calls in the favor. That's it.
I would.
Normal people, like for instance, I put on my Facebook page, donate to Max's walkathon, and I'll owe you a favor.
I did that, didn't I? No, I gave it to Tommy. Oh no, I just did Tommy's.
That's fine. Because Tommy's Crystal put up, and I was like, I'll put up Max's,
and you didn't do.
I said I'll owe everybody a favor. Then he raised some money or whatever. But I know it's an old school trick.
Corey Bryant's on there. He'll call it the favor. He'll get the favor.
No one ever calls in any favors. Like you say, hey, I owe you one. That's a perfect.
So you're giving out empty favors.
No, I'm giving them out. They can ask for it. I'm just saying no one ever does.
People are too stupid to ask for their favors.
That's not stupid. It's just no one ever asks for it. You could offer it.
Oh, I hope everybody asks for the favor tomorrow.
I don't need him to do that. He's too busy as it is. He don't need to be running favors. God, I saw that fog machine in my garage yesterday. And I'm like, God, I gotta get
curse.
I gotta get this thing
I gave you the curse.
I went to lift it. It's like the sword and the stone. It's stuck in my garage.
I'm heading out to Mims this weekend.
You can't pull it out of my garage. It's stuck in the garage now.
It reminds you.
It's behind 15 boogie boards, never to be seen again. Never to be seen again.
There's lots of things like that I have other people's, and then it's taught me to ignore everything.
Can I give you a compliment?
Yeah.
When I was going through my garage this weekend, and I looked over, and I did see it. I cleaned it up and everything. Remember, I used it in my haunted installation, and I saw it, and I go, oh, I got to get that back to Tactical Hat. But it was sitting so nicely in my garage, and my garage looks pretty nice. I was like, don't need to return it. It's mine. I was like, it's mine. As long as it's in my garage, it's mine.
Yeah. That's another thing, too. You should convince yourself
it's yours.
That other people's stuff is yours. That's when you're real good.
That makes you crazy. Yeah. You want to do another one?
Yeah.
Okay, back to saving lives. People, apparently, we have a lot of heroes.
Hey, Tom, Dan, Sam, the Barry Joe here. You guys were talking the other day about definitely or maybe saving lives. I've got a few under my belt that I'd say, is maybes, definite maybes on saving lives. One I'd say is probably a for sure. Me and an ex-girlfriend were walking around a construction site, and we were building our new bridge here in Titusville, and rolling on a little bit of ecstasies or ecstasies, and I stepped across the barge, used the little, walkway, turned around just in time to see my girlfriend slip between the two barges, and right into the Indian River here. And she could have gotten crushed. She was in the water. They had the tire bumpers on the edges of the damn thing, barges. That's the only thing that kept her from getting crushed right away. But if, I pulled her out of there, and we're pretty certain that she would have died had I not been around. There was nobody else out there.
Well, you guys were rolling on ecstasy. I don't know that means you could be the villain here.
Sam,
why are you walking on a a construction site high on money?
Okay, stop
That's what you do in Titusville.
Had he not mentioned the ecstasy, it's a typical Tuesday.
I like you're like,
he still had to save a life. I find it more impressive that he was able to pull her out of there on ecstasy.
Instead of freaking out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's take ecstasy and walk in these barges.
That's ridiculous. What kind of environment is that
Only
for being
in Florida.
for rolling?
Yeah, like don't you go to the Electronic Daisy Festival or something?
Yeah.
Like you took
Electronic Daisy.
I went with you.
you're supposed to do something on ecstasy. You're not walking some barges.
If you don't have a
They
lot
were
of money,
walking.
if you can't go to Fair Villa and get a whole festival gear, you could go to Fair Villa, get festival gear, and then go take ecstasy and walk on barges if you wanted to.
Also, those big ass tractor tires.
They'll still kill you.
No, but they'll keep the barge from crashing, like smushing you in the dock.
I know the tires would just crush you. It's still a big giant tire.
Yeah.
Well, but the tire creates the space so that the barge and the dock don't smush together, killing your girlfriend. So it would have been fine. She,
You did nothing,
You're
sir.
not
She
hero.
wouldn't have been crushed.
Let's see if we got any more heroes. I like this one. This one's pretty funny.
About your Sweethearts and Rachel debacle, I dated a girl that worked at Rachel's, and she had the issue where she fit all the clothing, but she had ample.
Come on, man.
So she had an issue finding stuff there.
I knew
Why'd you pause so long just to say it?
And
I thought you were going bosom.
I left it in there 'cause I left it in there because it's so good. Hold on, one more
Ample
time. I'm
bosom.
sorry.
It
One more
doesn't
time.
go with
One more time because it's good.
Debacle.
No, come on.
I dated a girl that worked at Rachel's, and she had the issue where she fit all the clothing, but she had ample.
That was a lot of in the reviews. They said that, if
Yeah.
you were ample
That's
up
why-
top, hard to find.
That's why I
something
kept
to
that
fit.
one. That guy is great. He also is, if you want to add him to our
He's a sweet,
team
quiet,
list.
whispering boy.
Yeah, he's the nerd hog. That guy, you can tell he's packing.
Yeah,
Because he's
yeah.
quiet spoken, maybe a bit of a computer man. He's
Yeah.
smart, he's nice guy, but he's not like me. He ain't a chirper, right? But that guy, did you hear it? Did you hear it?
Yeah.
He got the big Pete Davidson. That guy, you can hear it.
Yeah.
And he's dating strippers. They ain't, come
Yeah.
on.
Although it doesn't answer my question my question was who else but the employees at Rachel's shops at Sweethearts across the street. That's what I was
I
trying to
thought
find.
it helped your case because he's saying that she would go there, but
Well, she was a stripper. I assume that they.
No, I thought that's what you were trying to prove is that only strippers shop there, and I'm confirming it for you.
Yeah, but my question was how can that whole business be?
It's
run
it's
by
illegal.
Well, okay. Yeah. Oh, it's just
Could be, right? I mean,
Could be.
There
I'm
couldn't
guessing. I
that
don't
many
know.
strippers buying outfits at Sweethearts.
It's
daily.
also like club wear, too.
Yeah. It's weird though that just the employees support that business across
And some
the street.
people buy like lingerie and stuff from there for personal home use, like Fair Villa.
I want to get back into lingerie. I want my wife to go to bed.
My husband just bought me a bunch randomly.
I want my wife to come home. I want her to every night to wear lingerie every night. And it's just that's not feasible.
No. I think it's.
But women's sleepwear is garbage.
like a nightgown, you mean?
Like I'll tell you,
Or pajamas?
Works with Fair Villa. I'm blanking on her name right now. Brazilian Playboy model.
Vivi.
Now her stuff's super nice,
Right.
but I mean, you're gonna have to do some ordering, right? My wife's got. Old Stetson t-shirt with a wolf on it.
She's doing large t-shirt.
Old Umbros that she had in high school. Green Umbros where the Umbro is peeling off.
Yeah.
Old Adidas running shorts. Old underwear that the color of them is stone. Why do women like stone-colored underpants? Is it gray?
I don't know that I own a pair of
Is it
stone
brown?
underpants.
Well, if you were a mom, you would. Is it brown? No. Is it gray? No. Is it off-white? Not really. White? Certainly not. Is it brown? Not quite. What is it? It's stone. It's every color. It's brown, gray, black, dark gray, heather, green. It's all of it.
And it's like sleeping shorts that go down like bike shorts mid-thigh. Where you're like, why are they so long?
Are you Derek Jeter? Why are you wearing Under Armour?
Why are your shorts so long? Like I want the small.
Take them up.
Or butt cheeks hang out. Like, it's sexy.
I want you to dress like the girls that you say shouldn't dress like that. Right? Whenever my wife sees a woman at the mall and she's like, her ass ass is hanging out. I'm like, yeah, then finally you got a lady who knows how to dress over here.
Yeah.
She's got her ass cheeks hanging out.
I always said that I enjoy
Me too. This is how we sealed our business partnership.
The men that prefer their wives to dress more provocative, and then have more cleavage out and like.
Oh, one of my favorite role plays with my wife is when she's outside taking the dogs. I'll pull up my car and put the window down, and we do streetwalker. Oh yeah, buddy. Don't even get me started. I'm like, hey, there's your little dogs. How much for
And how does she flirt back?
How much for some mustard on the hot dog? I do like one of those, and she'll lean in and she'll be like, my pimp's not around.
Oh, she's a hard one.
Oh, yeah, I like them hard. Oh, yeah, I like them hard. She's like, my pimp's not around. He just got done snapping me good. And I'm like, well, if he's not around, why don't you get in my Kia Sophia? Let's do a couple donuts around the Burger King.
She marks like cigarette burns on her legs.
Oh yeah, it's fake.
Yeah.
I get those stick-on bullet holes that were popular in the early 2000s that my dad had on his motorcycle tank. I put them on my wife's ass and thighs.
Stick-on biker bullet holes.
Yeah.
What was that supposed to be like? Look who shot my car. Like, is that good?
Yeah. Does that mean you're? I don't know. What that's supposed to mean? You're tough. I don't know.
My wife also has a tattoo, and you guys don't know, right on the tramp stamps and lived to ride. Right on her tramp stamp with an eagle. Like one of those.
Speaking of that, we need to do a show about. Did we do one time a show about regretful tattoos or tattoos that people
I feel like we did, but we can do it again.
We did again. Didn't we give a prize?
We did do it. Yeah, we talked about it.
I want to hear the most horrible tattoos that people regret.
One of the best ones that I saw that's on. I follow.
Remember Beast?
I enjoyed
but
that
he
tattoo.
Doesn't regret anything.
Yeah, he doesn't regret anything. But I saw a tattoo yesterday that I really enjoyed. It was, and it's funny, but I don't see where it's a bad tattoo if it makes you laugh. It was "Only Judge Can God Me." A guy had across his
But that's
chest.
for comedy. Yeah,
but they put it in the sucky tattooed Instagram, and I'm like, well,
he did it on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, I have left tattooed on my right hand and right tattooed on my left hand.
Yeah,
misspelled.
but they're faking the narrative that he didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah,
they do that all the time.
I don't like that.
I see that on TikTok. They do a whole. There's bad
because it made me
tattoos.
laugh. I was like, oh, that's a funny tattoo, man. Especially if you love Tupac and not necessarily a believer, and you're kind of a wacky person. That's a funny tattoo.
There's people that have, and I question this too. They have words spelled wrong and stuff.
No regrets.
Yeah.
That one I think is real. There's one of those that's real. There have been people that copied it. There's this one cat.
That's what I'm saying. If you copy it for the joke, then it's not funny anymore.
Yeah.
There's a really bad tiger face or a cat face that has its own Instagram, and people have now gone out and gotten this legendary bad cat. It's like a tiger. If you type in bad tiger tattoo, there's a whole section of these horrible, and now it's its own thing where it actually looks
where he looks like a derpy tiger?
Yeah, he looks like a derpy tiger, and people get it now. I would actually get a derpy tiger
as the joke,
because it's funny. So people now they put them all over make them look beautiful. There's one guy that's got one on his back that's blanking gorgeous. It's 100 hours of tattoo work, and it's beautiful.
It's one of those rare scenarios where the internet...
Sucky Panther is what it's called.
The internet actually did good for this person by making fun of it so much that the originator of the bad tattoo now has a famous tattoo that other people emulated, and therefore probably feels better about it, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So, normally it would just, without the internet, it would just be, oh my God, this guy, you got the worst tattoo artist, that's a horrible tiger. It looks stupid. But the internet made it better.
Yeah, and I like funny tattoos too, because if you do look down at them and they make you laugh or something, like my Maisie tattoo, it's not funny, but I understand now family tattoos and stuff like that, because I do get a good vibe out of that. I enjoy having tattoos like that. So I'm very pro funny tattoos. Earl's got my buddy Earl Funk. I love it when I see people that have very creative, funny tattoos.
Sam, do you have thigh tattoos?
Whoa! You know what? I will leave so you guys can hash this out. If you decide
I'm
to
asking
quit,
before I make a comment. I don't know.
You're going to say they're trashy?
You have tattoos because I'm into that, and I just want to know.
No, I'm not even saying anything about them.
Say that?
I'm just saying, is that something you have?
What?
No.
But why
Okay.
are you trying to paint it in your mind?
No, because I see it and I'm like, a little trash. Like,
We knew it.
The big thigh on the front of the quad.
Like, a lot of girls get that where they'll get and they'll do a frame.
Yes, yeah,
and they'll do like an antique frame, and then they'll put like one of their dogs or like their grandma or something in there, or Ruth Ginsburg or something. Like it's a trendy spot. Yeah, I'm into it.
It's
I
fine,
like a thigh tattoo.
No, it's fine. And if you got one, I'm not saying anything.
You know what you need? You need cargo. You need cargo shorts.
I did say something.
You need cargo shorts, and you need calf tattoos. You do. He
barely has any calves.
To complete your Florida boatman look, cargo shorts, calf tattoos. One of them has to be Florida Gators.
One of them has to be a ruler so you can hold your fish next to it.
I like the ruler tattoo. See, that's a useful tattoo, but you got to get a Florida Gator on your calf.
My buddy Joe has a calf tattoo. Porno Joe.
Yeah.
He's got a calf tattoo of just a tribal thing.
I've got some tribal.
Yeah, but it's on his calf, and it's the
tribal calf. You got a rock calf.
2002 thing you could do, right? Like that. There was a time where like guys were getting calf tattoos. It was at the same time as the tramp stamp.
Yeah, probably around the same time.
Yeah. Okay. And then pre that, I feel like 80s and 90s was
armband.
The armband.
But you wouldn't go under.
Right.
To hurt
go on the inside.
Because it would hurt so bad. So you'd stop it like right when you get to your armpit hair, you'd be like, and pause.
I don't like barbed wire that much.
I'm barbed wire. Don't touch my pits. That's Bob's rule. It's his only rule. Let's try.
We gotta go.
Oh, do we?
Yes.
I'm having fun. I'm just rocketing through these.
Bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Let's do some Weird Hobby Wednesday.
I forgot to do an intro for it. I got to do it real fast.
Oh, man.
If you've got a hobby and you're feeling kind of blobby dick, that's slobs. What's your hobby?
There it is. That's all I got. That didn't even make any sense.
Put music to that.
Yeah, just put that all together. On the line with us, we have, who's this, Jeff?
Jason.
Jeff, what's your hobby?
Hey, I am a fake air traffic controller.
I heard it in your voice.
Jeff.
Jason, you have the voice of a nerd dad who's into like these things, and I'll explain. Daniel knows what I'm talking about. Like
these things,
fun.
These kids with their things.
There's certain nerd dads that are into like, let's say wilderness survival or like some sort of carpentry.
I have a skill.
Yeah. But they get real into it, and then have all the tools.
They have all
and
the gear.
Like, I have a straw that for 72 hours, once released from its package, will allow me to drink from any stream in the nation without getting microbes in my mouth.
You're into like long distance mountain biking and then camping
weird
efficiently.
Weird ice fishing.
Yeah. You have all the tools and you make your own flies for fly fishing.
Andrea's dad did that for a while. I'm like, my God, I would rather chop my own fingers off.
It's kind of like Jim Phillips, where you just get into something and then you get totally into it.
A lot of that is very Townes Van Zandt to me. And if you know what I mean by that, it's waiting to die.
So, Jason, what is this? Is it what Daniel plays, the plane game?
I mean, that's an aspect of it, but I think in our community we would call Daniel a casual. It's kind of a derogatory term for someone who's maybe not as nerdy and into it.
I don't.
Is that the same as cuckold?
I don't take it. It's exactly like cuckold. I don't take that as a derogatory term. I like it.
It's a nerd cuck. Yeah.
I like it when other nerds invite their larger, darker nerds over and they play. They got bigger controllers and they do it right in front of my wife. Fly these planes right in front of your wife, nerd. Plane cuckolding. I love it.
So what's the difference between what Daniel's doing and what you're doing?
He explained it. I'm a casual gamer. I go on there and fly, and I'm doing loop-de-loops, and I'm not taking it seriously,
Are you talking to air traffic controllers as you play?
No. My computer, the way that I have mine set up casually, just for like the layman, I'm still taking like the flight lessons in the game, right? Like, this guy knows what he's doing. So for me, I'm still learning. It'll do a lot of it on its own, depending on how many different helpers I've engaged, right?
Yeah.
I've got all these different assists that I can kind of click on to make it easier for me as a newbie to fly around the nation. But I'm sure you don't use any of those, right? Like you try to do it as much like you are an actual air traffic controller?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, for the people who are really into this, fidelity is everything, right? How close can we get to the real thing without being in a real airplane? And so a real flight might be from Tampa to New York. It might take 2 hours of actual flight time. You might spend 45 minutes getting ready for the flight and planning. You might have to divert because of real-world weather. There's just a ton of things. Some people are into it to the level that they're a member of a virtual airline. So a friend of mine, he's a member of the Delta virtual airline, which is a completely fake and fabricated airline. He's a senior captain or something with them. And he's flown over 1,500 flights with them, and I think over 2,000 hours in his career there at the virtual airline.
I am I'm a pilot for Virtual Delta. So I'm a virtual alcoholic, and I cheat on my virtual family in every airport that I stay. Oh, I'm banging all the virtual stewardesses. Can I still say that? Can't say that? I'll virtually leave.
So Jason, as the air traffic controller of this community, do you schedule like when you're going to be on shift to like? How does that work?
Like a shift hobby.
Yeah,
I kind of like that.
No, I get you.
Yeah,
So this is a huge community. If you go to the map, it's a nonprofit. If you go to the map online, you can see that right now there are 900 pilots flying in the world virtually, and there's approximately, I would say, 50 or 60 air traffic control positions on the network at this time. That varies. Like on a Friday night, it could be thousands of people flying and hundreds of air traffic controllers. So some people do publicize that in advance. Not everybody does. It's more of a, if we're here kind of service. But there are services that you can actually pay for and subscribe to that have guaranteed coverage for similar functionality.
So, Jason, how do you determine that, like, whose turn is it to to speak to like what group of planes? Because in real world, there's certain air traffic controllers for certain airports.
Well, you have to hand it off, right? Like they'll tell you. That's the stuff that I'm learning in being a newbie. Is that like once I leave, like let's say Daytona Beach airspace, it'll say, "Hey, Dan." It's a lot more technical, but it'll be like, "Hey, Dan, we're handing you off. Please contact Tower, blah 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 for Tampa." You got to contact them. Now I'll contact them. Then they'll radio into me. Then I got to start communicating with those guys, right?
Yeah, but what if everybody wants to be the Tower in Tampa at the same time? Like who determines the one?
That's a great question.
No. Yeah, that's a great question, Tom. So, believe it or not, there is an organization that mirrors the FAA and all the other air traffic control organizations in the world that sits behind this network, and it's equally as bureaucratic and rule-driven as you would think any government organization is. So there's strict rules about...
It's probably more efficient than a regular government, right?
Yeah, you're right. They enjoy it.
Yeah,
at least.
exactly.
They're opting in to do it.
They're opting to play instead of having to do it for a job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're doing this with 5 or 6 other air traffic controllers, it's possible, Dan, that you might leave Miami, for instance, and you might be talking to me as the Tower. And I might hand you off to another real person to talk to as the next controller.
That's so cool.
And so on and so on. But then you're right, you do hit a point where, okay, it's kind of the end of where our coverage area is, and you just kind of don't talk to anybody during that time. And then when you re-enter a place with coverage, then they ask you to contact them.
That's neat. See, I do enjoy the aspect of, like, it's everybody flying, but also, like, sort of working together. Now, am I correct in thinking that you do both the virtual flying and the virtual controlling? Or do you lend yourself more to, like, just being a controller versus a pilot?
I do both. I'm a much better controller than I am a pilot. I'm kind of a crap pilot, to be honest with you.
It's hard.
So,
I mean, like, I've failed. It's almost as hard as Elder Ring. It's like I crash a plane. I'm not good at landing. I'm not good at doing all the real checks and balances. Now I can for the purposes of our charity auction, when we have somebody in here who's going to fly with me, I'm just going to have that thing on have fun mode, and we're going to do loopy loop all over the place. Well, but when I'm trying to take it seriously, it's insanely difficult to do. It's fun.
Well, Jason,
but the difficulty level is right up there with Elder Ring, where you're dying every 10 minutes. It's not that. I mean, if you don't like dying, then I would say Flight Simulator and this latest Elder Ring game, not for you. Those aren't your things.
Well, Jason, like what Daniel says, like what keeps everybody participating in it?
The teamwork and pulling it off, I feel like.
Without, right? In real life, what keeps people serious is
money.
Life or death. Like the pilot's not just going to be like, let's see if I can just start flying crazy. But on this flight simulator, how people get in there and just start trolling around and crashing into other planes.
No, in the casual, to go back to the
Can you get them out of there? How does that work?
That's a good idea, yeah.
Right. Yeah, so we have a team of supervisors who we can call if someone's being a dipstick, and they'll come and remove them from the network. So that's how we handle people that are kind of doing things that are outside of bounds. But what keeps people motivated to do the right thing, I think, is just a sense of self-accomplishment. This is very different than a game. You would probably be run out of town if you called it a game in certain flight sim communities, because people they look at it as a simulation because it's open world, right? It's not. There's no exact objective. You're not going to go beat King Koopa in the castle at the end, and then the game's over, right? It's just you're defining what you want it to be, and to that end, you have to set your own standards for yourself, your own expectations for yourself, and then you kind of score yourself, really, based on how you think you did.
That is one of the single best explanations of why these type of games are important to people that I've heard. That actually made a lot of sense to me, man. I like that. I like and also I like the sense of community that they have, though, too. And I think that's just going to amplify him wanting to do a good job, right? If you've got a bunch of these nerds doing it, and they amplify each other, right? If everybody's, if your air traffic controller's doing it, and then you got the other air traffic controllers doing it, and multiple pilots are all, and they're staying in there, they're listening to the commands, and you got an aircraft that's let's say 1,000, whatever feet to this section, you got to talk to him, and you're communicating well. At the end of the night, you look at everything, and you're like, we did a good job. That was good.
So, Jason,
that's right.
Let's get to the real of it. Tell me when. Okay, so you got a wife and kids, or what? What's your deal?
Yeah, I got both of those things.
Okay,
wow.
So
is that hard to believe for you guys?
How much time are you spending on the simulation?
No, well, I was going to let me.
How much time are you spending on life? That's a simulation.
So, Jason, I assume you have a regular full-time job.
I do, yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm an air traffic controller.
So tell me...
A real one.
So, with a wife and kids, there's a lot of work involved, and so what time of day do you tell the old lady, hey, I'm going to go do my air traffic controlling...
I got 37 virtual planes that need landing, lady.
So do you, what time of day do you go sit down for how many hours, and your wife and kids leave you alone so you could do virtual air traffic controlling? Tell me.
Well, my kids are teenagers, so I don't have to worry about them leaving me alone.
But Dad's in there flying his fake planes.
I bet they think it's awesome.
Crazy. Our dad's F-word Sully. He's in there playing his stupid planes. We say that because we're kids that have no filter.
We have dedicated events, so sometimes we'll sit down for 3 or 4 hours at a time on a weekend evening or a weekend day. Sometimes it's just between 7 and 9 while I'm trying to unwind at night after work. Sometimes it's early Saturday morning, if I get up before everybody else, 6 to 10 or something, and do a shift there.
Let's get a couple of these planes home.
I've put in about 1,000 hours myself.
That's
in
awesome.
The virtual ATC world.
Oh, my God. That's awesome.
But that's only a fraction. That's actually performing the service. I've spent hundreds of hours training others to do it. And then, of course, flying. So
I like that
total all that.
I love that you train other people to do something purposely. It's my favorite. No, I'm serious when I tell you. That means that you will what you're doing. I feel like gives you length in your life. It's good for you, right?
Yeah,
I feel like
enjoys it.
Yeah, I feel like what he's doing is so healthy, and the fact that he teaches other people how to waste time with something that's purely just healthy. It's literally just healthy to have fun.
Okay, Jason, you're going to role play with me right now.
Cuckold fish. Oh, sorry. I didn't know what we were doing, so I yell my go-to horny words.
Okay.
So I'm going to pretend I just got on the simulator.
Don't do
we
Leroy
can't show that
Jenkins. This guy's going to Leroy Jenkins you, and I will not stand for it.
I'm not going to Leroy Jenkins.
Sir, we are brethren in the sky. We are digital pilots. Together, you are my brother. I will not let this man Leroy Jenkins you just because you play MS Flight Simulator. Not cool, Tom.
So, Okay,
cool, dude.
Jason, I'm gonna really try to take it seriously, but I'm an amateur, and I just got on Daniel's. He's in the simulator.
You would love it. It's so relaxing to look at everything from above, dude. You would love it.
You can't connect with an Xbox to this network. So
yeah, no, it's not. It's not
okay.
Even,
well, let's
it's not
say
even the same thing. Man.
I have no fantasy, Jason.
I'm a cash. Okay,
say Daniel reaches the level, he gets in the system.
I'm a holy PC user, and then I got a big boy rig with some neon on it. It's all liquid cooled.
And then I'm his high buddy. I get in there. I want to fly the plane, and I'm
this thing liquid cooled. And then you sit down, and you got your flashy keyboard.
So I figure I take off. I'm flying in the air, and so I'm like, all right. I'm like air traffic control. I'm flying right now. I think I'm heading towards Atlanta.
No, you don't say. I think I'm heading towards Atlanta.
I'm a newbie.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
The lingo. You would have already had them tell you that you say specific things, and they'll read something back to you, and you got to repeat it back.
Yeah, but this is just a Yahoo got in the system. He's got to deal with.
They have supervisors for that.
What you'd never make it. You'd never make it, Tom.
You're gonna kick me out just for trying to have fun?
Yeah, immediately. Shoot him out of this guy.
Take him out.
Like an amateur camp and play with you guys.
No. I mean, we expect people to put in a little work before they sign on for the first time.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, we can't just have people bopping in there like just woke up and decided they wanted to try this. They have to do a little studying on their own.
Yeah, because they're going to ruin the whole, the third wall, man. You're tearing it down by you getting in there. You're like, I think I'm headed towards Atlanta. I don't really know. Hello? Air traffic control.
If someone taught me, I could learn in a couple hours. And then, so what am I supposed to say? And what?
Tom, I challenge you, Tom. If you want to join this network, I will be your personal trainer, and I guarantee you won't last more than 1 or 2 sessions.
Wow.
Won't last. What is it, an endurance competition? What do you mean won't last? I'll be bored to death.
You'll be bored, and you'll be like, yeah, screw this, I'm out.
Yeah, he says you're a plain pussy, bro.
No, I mean, you're just learning. Okay, Jason, what is it?
I just poured my Mountain Dew down my shirt.
Is it all just memorization?
All the way down my shirt.
Of
typical casual.
Yeah, I'm just a typical casual plain boy pouring my Mountain Dew down my shirt.
Is it all protocol memorization where you just know what the protocol is in every situation? What happens if do some people start simulating crashes and you have to divert them?
No, because your plane will you can set up certain things to go wrong with your plane at certain times and randomize that.
Have you ever virtually killed anybody, Jason?
Oh, yeah. I've made some mistakes. Oh, yeah, lots of times. And there's plenty of times where you quit for the session and you think, wow, I really suck at that. And then there's other times that you think, wow, that was really good, and I'm proud of what I just did. But to answer your question, yes, sometimes people do want to simulate emergencies. We allow them to do that with our approval. If we're too busy to handle that, we'll refuse that. But that's a thing that can happen. And for the most part, yes, communication between a pilot and ATC is very predictable, and it mostly follows a script of sorts. So 95% of stuff, you should be able to predict probably what the next thing the guy's going to say is. And it sort of becomes routine at some point if you do it a lot.
Mediocre 159er, increase altitude 5,000 feet and hold.
So the
mediocre 159er, increasing altitude and holding at 5,000 feet.
Jason, I'm sure you're familiar with this viral video of a guy that is doing this, but doing it comedy. He's kind of skewing towards comedy, and he's doing the air traffic control voice.
Yeah. Okay, it's just a variation of the Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, but then he's joking around because there's biplanes flying next to B-2 bombers, and then pure chaos, and he's just commenting on it. Is that guy the most famous?
Or do you hate him because he's mocking your...
How does that work?
No, there's a whole subculture of streamers on Twitch and YouTube who are streaming both sides of this equation. At any given time, you can probably find someone who's pretending to be a pilot and someone who's pretending to be ATC on one of those platforms. I sent Sam a link to a video of a guy making a flight into Miami that I actually talked to. And that's just one example. He's probably one of the most famous streamers right now, but that guy, I have no idea who that is.
Interesting.
So, Jason, if there was let's say you're at the airport, right? You're at MCO. And then all of a sudden, like, someone comes down screaming.
The worst airport, by the way.
They're like,
I love that airport.
all our air traffic controllers didn't show up to work today.
Help, please, help.
Is there anyone in here that can do this?
Is there a nerd in the house?
And could
I'm your
you
nerd, lady.
volunteer?
As soon as I finish my egg salad sandwich, I'll be right over there.
Because if you scream that out at like an airport concourse, you would probably be the most qualified person to do this. Could you get
We
up
need
on
an
that?
air traffic controller. All the other ones have diarrhea.
Could you get up there?
Well, I was
and-
going to have my big boy bloke beer at the Outback because I'm a nervous flyer in real life, but I guess I could pilot a few planes.
and get it done and land the plane safely without any catastrophe.
That I'm probably going to piss off a huge group of actual air traffic
Just say
controllers
yes.
who are listening right now.
Say yes.
But I think I could probably do 90% of it. There's an element that
You can do it. Your face, real air traffic controllers, if you are real.
and I would want it to be over with as quickly as possible. But you know,
Well, they
when
would
COVID
too.
happened-
It's an emergency, right? Like, they don't want their guys with diarrhea having diarrhea for life. They want them to come back to
You
work.
got people's lives in your hands, Jason. You can get. I mean,
You'd be a hero,
let's
man.
say this is a standard Tuesday. It's not that busy. You can get the planes in there.
This would be a good idea.
I mean, the
Actually,
pilots do most of the work. You're just telling them.
This would be a good. This would be this would be a bad idea for a movie.
So during COVID, actually, this kind of happened. I mean, they didn't call in amateurs, so to speak, to do the services, but they completely shut down large air traffic control units and due to COVID. So they had to evacuate the floor or whatever, and they just simply routed airplanes around that area. This happened in Jacksonville for sure. I can't remember Las Vegas for sure during COVID, where normally a Southwest airplane that's leaving Las Vegas would be talking to ATC, and on that day they were operating in an uncontrolled fashion, just like your average fat dad flying a Cessna out of the Lakeland airport.
Yeah, I'm surprised with the fact that you're monitoring something. Yeah, I've heard scary things like that before. So I try not to pay attention when people are telling me those things, because I was like, I beat my fear of flying to the point where I'm good at it now. Like, I can get on a plane without having any chemicals within my body and be okay, but I don't want to slip. I don't want to fall back. I've made strides.
Most people don't realize that. I mean, you can go get in a small plane and fly from an uncontrolled airport to an uncontrolled airport and literally not talk to anyone along the route of flight.
I would love that.
You just got to stay low, right?
Stay low.
Not really. I mean, depending on the route you're flying, you could probably go up to 17,999 feet and not have to talk to a single person.
But that's still pretty low, right? That's where Piper comes.
I like you're giving yourself 1 foot of clearance.
How we doing up here? I'm 7 inches. Pull her down, Sarah.
Whoa, a plane just came close.
Man.
So,
my God.
So, Jason, I remember there was a thing when I was a kid.
Chemtrails up here.
When I was a kid, there was always this urban legend that air traffic controllers had the most stressful job of any job in the business, and they were always smoking and had like white business shirts on.
And when they sweat, they bleed because they're so
Billy
stressed.
Bob Thornton, sure, yeah.
And so I'm sure
every day they're like, "Oh, thank God that's over."
And that's how it was portrayed. And I'm sure nowadays, because of technology, it's gotten a lot easier, right? Like, aren't computers doing a lot of the work?
It's hard for me to say because I don't work in an actual air traffic control.
But if you did, what would you say?
But several of the people who are members of our community are real airline pilots and real air traffic controllers that actually work real ATC.
Don't they get enough of it, for the love of God?
Oh, they're a full. They're a hard on the spectrum.
It's like if you work at a surf shop, I expect you to come home and have something secretly goth in your house.
You're still waxing at home.
Oh my God, never wax at home.
So I don't judge them for that, but they're really great people, and I've learned so much from them. And at times I do get the sense that it can be pretty stressful, but for the most part I think it ebbs and flows, probably like any job.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
You're wearing the best hoodie we ever made. Or hoodie. The
nice
best.
and soft.
That is my favorite hoodie. Oh, what? You didn't get a compliment and you got upset?
No, I was just looking to see which one it was because I have so many Tom and Dan hoodies around here that I wear different ones.
I do
leave
too.
them all around everywhere.
You know what I like? I like that new one we got. That's my motorcycle hoodie.
Oh, yeah.
It's thick enough to, like, because this morning, like 55,
It's nice.
57 degrees, I was out there on the scooter. It was very, very nice. Yeah, you can find all of that, all of our gear, maybe even some hoodies, all at tomanddan.com.
Well, we are getting more of those hoodies coming in a couple weeks. We'll let the BDMs know first, but they sold out in like 2 hours, which I did not foresee.
My bad.
I mean, we sat here, we're like, should we order? Like, we
really did slave over it because, like, we were a Florida podcast in Orlando. It's hot as hell.
We almost didn't even do them.
Correct.
Because we were going to do them before Christmas, and then we're like, I don't know.
How did we even get it done? Didn't Eric have to? Because Enemy, I thought their run times were too far out. Or did they squeeze it in because they're nice and they like us?
Well, basically, I was like, just order 100 and hopefully we'll sell enough to break even. And then it's like sold out.
Yeah.
And then people are mad and people are emailing us. They're like, I didn't get my hoodie. You're an idiot.
I'm like, I'm sorry. 2 hours. And I'm like, whoa.
Anyway, so we have more. 100 more.
Yeah. 2 more hours. You have 2 more hours.
Because I don't want to order. Because then if we have to pay to store them, then Eric's putting them in the storage.
You know what happens? The one time we order enough hoodies for 10 hours of hoodies, then you MFs don't buy them. and then we're stuck with 8 extra hours of hoodie ordering.
Now I have all these other podcasts telling me they're like, all pre-order. What are you doing storing stuff, you idiot?
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know. We're old man podcast now.
We have a warehouse that's as big as Amazon that has every T-shirt we've ever made going back until 2013. All the leftovers. Got a bunch of smalls in there.
You know, we should have just pre-ordered those hoodies. Now that I think about it, that would have been.
We could have made them better too. We could have upscaled them. Do a little flash and dash on the inside of them.
Write that down.
Write down. You know what? Write down pre-order and write down pre-tape. Write down pre-taped.
Nas and Woodsy is here from Groove Soaps. How you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Doing wonderful.
You scared the hell out of me when you said Nas and Woodsy are here, and I'm like, no, there's 2 white guys in here. This guy's an idiot.
I just read what's written on my paper.
I don't see anybody other than 2 white guys on our couch. No,
Listen,
joking.
whatever Samantha says her name's all right, just say it. She could have wrote down anything. I would have said it.
Sabotage you one day.
Yeah, well, you can. You can, because I'll never question you. I'll follow you to hell.
Wait a minute. So you're following Samantha to hell, and I'm following you to hell?
Yeah, we all.
One real circle of hell.
Okay. Yeah. One ring to rule them all.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
So, how is the soap business?
Well, it's been fantastic. Yeah. In fact, from our last collaboration, we were kind of showing up today to give you guys the $500 that to go into Yellow Brick.
Oh, okay. So, I see you, Michael Scott. You got a giant check.
Yes.
I love it. That's
I've always
great.
wanted to, follow the footsteps of Ed McMahon.
Groove Soaps giving Yellow Brick $500 from the sale of soap. Thank you, guys. That's really neat.
Now, technically, that novelty check cost $250, so we had to deduct that from the Yellow Brick. Yeah.
It came straight out of the charity box.
Yeah. So $500, but the check is important.
That's funny.
So thank you guys for doing that.
Yeah,
and thank you for helping us out.
Did you hide any things in the? I saw the check number on the bottom. Did you hide anything in there?
No.
A couple of 69s.
The Da Vinci Code,
8008 5. That's
we'll
boobs.
let the internet figure it out.
Yeah.
It's a discount code. If
They're
you can
good at
figure
the
it out.
conspiracy stuff, so we'll let the internet figure that one out.
Gotcha.
So, tell me about, I know that with supply chain issues, every one of our sponsors is dealing with it and stuff, and does that affect the soap business?
Sure does. Actually, when we made your guys' soap, that was pretty much the end of our batch of oil, and we had ordered another 2,000 pounds of raw oil, which is a literal ton of oil to ship in, and that was back right after we saw you guys in November, and we weren't able to get it till just like 2-3 weeks ago because of supply chain issues with procuring some of our oils. And that's not very fun. So kind of had our hands tied behind our backs with making some new stuff, but in that time, we just hit the ground running with whatever we could do, and we kind of redesigned the company from the ground up in the way we're going to be doing soap here forward, fixed the way how long it takes us to make soap, and kind of streamlined our production.
Oh, wow.
You ever get some fancy things?
I like the idea of you guys saying we've changed everything. We're out of the soap.
That's it.
We're making knives now.
Very, very aggressive knives.
No,
We're washing our
custom
hands.
macrame stockings. No,
every single time I talk to someone about supply chain issues, I'm like, oh yeah, supply chain. Oh god, the supply chain. I have no idea what that means.
Me neither.
I have no idea what that means or how, why it's affected or why it's bad for. I have no idea.
You send us a picture of a boat and be like, this is what we need, and it's stuck out there. And,
they're like, well, why is it stuck? There it is.
Well, start it up and drive it to the port.
can I just get lazy out there?
What's the problem? So it affects oil and getting.
Sure.
That was our issue. Yeah.
What's the hardest oil or segment of oils? Is it the perfume? Is it the smell? Like
was it
canola?
Canola oil? They were having trouble
Canola oil.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love canola's good for frying things, right?
You can use it as a cooking oil.
Use it. Yeah, you can use it for cooking oil.
But you can use it on your body too. I guess.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
What the hell is what is a canola? Like, I'm sorry, I'm a baby.
You know what? No. I think that's a good question because isn't it a blend of oils?
That we use what we use is a blend of oils. Canola is just one of the oils that we use.
It comes from the pressing a seed from the canola plant. It's kind of like a little shrub.
The canola.
I
didn't even know there was such a thing.
It's kind of the same way they get palm oil. It comes from palm seeds and palm seed kernels.
So am I correct in thinking that most things, let's say olive oil, comes from olives?
You're onto something.
Yeah. All right. I got your lingo down.
Do people still use the built-in soap dish that replaces a tile in your bathroom tiles, and then
I personally do.
I do too. That's every morning I grab. I did with you guys this morning. I grabbed my red.
That was his greeting this morning.
Or what's left of it, because the slab that I have of your soap has whittled down to the point now where it's red, so it's odd looking. It does look like a red dagger, a shard of a red dagger, and and I set it right on my soap dish. And I have to clean my soap dish though. It gets a little.
See, you were saying before you like to just kind of get stuck to it and just like rub it. Like
just rub the top.
Oh my God! What, like the log like you're at the Apollo? Yeah, rubbing the log.
Because I don't have the in our shower. There's no bathtub attached to it because
you got a cool shower.
Because I'm not poor.
He's got one of those sexy bathrooms. He has a sexy. He and his wife.
Tell us more.
He and his wife have a sexy bathroom, and they went full on like porn bathroom where it's like everything is see-through, everything is neon,
everywhere.
Everything is brushed aluminum.
Water like rain, like straight from the top.
Yeah, he has like the waterfall.
It's nice. Glass square bricks that are stacked.
It looks
Commando.
like it's porno Legos.
Yeah.
So it looks like you sneezed in a space mask.
Yeah. It's mold crazy.
No, it's not. How's the tile? Didn't you get some water behind it?
That whole thing.
Oh no!
Every day I have to turn on a tiny fan that sits on the back of my toilet. This is serious, and this is driving me insane. I'm sorry to complain.
You have to, okay, hold on. You guys can go outside and smoke a cigarette. We'll be right back.
What's happening?
So you have to put in a poop fan on your toilet?
Yeah. So the whole mold thing,
I thought we were done with the mold. I'm asking serious questions here. I thought this is months ago.
No, nothing. Everything I complain about still goes on. I just stop because it becomes insane at some point, and I'm embarrassed by it.
Fair enough.
But the new thing is because my wife was convinced that we didn't have any ventilation because we don't have any bathroom fan in there. I got to get someone to install it.
Let's get Bracken to put a fan, like the one we have in here. We got an upgraded fan, and it's really nice. Before you guys leave, take a bowel movement.
The problem is, I have to just spray it into the attic. Then she's like, or cut a hole in the roof, or we just got the roof done. So then you have to go through the side. Yeah. It's more complicated than just putting the fan.
Nobody's ever done
into the toilet.
No. Put a fan in the floor that sucks the farts down into the ground.
Yeah, just jackhammer all the floor up. But so anyway, there's no ventilation. So my wife, paranoid. First there was the mold, then we brought in the
mold man,
1-800 water damage, and they came in. He set up his mold thing, and he's looking at me. He's like, "No mold." He's like, "Should I tell her? She's crazy." Yeah. And then I'm like, "No, don't tell her.
There's no mold in here. You do have a sexy bathroom, though. Man, this
he
is a
set
good
up some
bathroom.
tripod that takes the mold spot. This whole thing just to convince my wife there's no mold because she's like, it smells like mold.
Did he tell her there is absolutely no mold? And did she go, I don't know?
yeah.
This is crazy. That's not fair. She didn't do that.
Yeah, she did. And then so when the guy left and said there's no mold, she's like, I still smell mold. My nose doesn't lie. It's Shakira of noses.
God,
so
if you had the choice between hips don't lie and nose don't lie.
I know. So then she ordered this tiny. It's like an industrial fan that's like super powerful that now sits on the back of her toilet, like a shop fan, but it's tiny. But it's
shop
loud.
fan. Like, so you have a little person.
I'm not joking.
Little person shop fan. So if you had a little person welder, he would have a little person shop fan.
It's louder than the nighttime waves that my wife sets at night, so I have to hear the waves, sleep sounds, and then I hear the fan, the loud ass shop fan. But all night long she has to run it because after we take a shower, so steamy.
Wait, it's steamy It's steamy all night?
Yeah,
How much steam are you producing?
Like hot shower?
Are you cooling uranium? Like, what is happening?
It's a normal shower steam. It's just,
it goes away. That's how steam works. It'll evaporate.
Yeah, but in my wife's mind, it settles and causes pink mold on the bathroom.
Pink mold?
Yeah, it's pink mold. It's pink.
I'm drinking It looks like my Mountain Dew. I'm drinking a Mountain Dew Zero Sugar Spark.
And then she tells me, she's like, oh yeah, the pink mold. It gets it. She shows me, like, I'm like, is that, why is it pink? It's always black.
Sam, look up pink mold. Look up pink mold. Is that a thing?
It's a thing.
Yeah.
What is pink mold? You guys might know because you guys deal with a lot of old world chemicals and stuff, right? You got lye. And,
we don't have molds.
But you guys also are closer to blacksmith than I am.
Yeah. That could be said, yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys are like a craft.
So it says it's not actually mold. It's a very common strain of airborne bacteria that's found throughout the world.
Oh, just tell her it's bacteria. That'll fix it. Yeah, just tell her it's pink bacteria.
Yeah. You call the mold guy for a bacteria problem.
Yeah.
So
it's bringing a knife to a gunfight.
I was just gonna say that. So I'm glad you didn't make that racial.
All of that doesn't make me crazy, but this is what does. So I am an old man now, and I have to pee multiple times throughout the night. Right?
Oh, do you pee in the fan?
Especially if I
pee everywhere?
No. But I go into the bathroom. I stumble in there. It's dark. I can't turn on the lights.
Why not?
Because I am courteous of my wife sleeping.
Sleep mask, dude. Sleep mask. You can do whatever you want.
No.
Sleep mask. I got a mag light right in her face. You can't even see it. Can't even see it.
She won't wear it. She's too paranoid or whatever. I don't know.
It's hard to fight with a sleep mask on. That's true.
Yeah.
So I have to go in there and then I have to. It's the middle of the night. I pee sitting down. Right.
Smart. No. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
Not fair, Sam. That is smart. That's keeping it in the bowl, and I support that.
Yeah. Because it's dark. I can't even see.
But Sam laughter is cute that she's like bullying you.
I just imagining him sitting down to pee-pee.
It's embarrassing. I don't want to admit it. Every time I do, I think my pop-up is watching me from heaven.
Your boss doing that.
Jim Jeffries did a bit on it. Then I'm totally adopting that after I heard Jim Jeffries' bit on it.
Because even my pop-up, when he was 90 and had a broken neck, would not sit down.
I'd rather live on my legs than die on my knees. You know who sits down to pee? A goddamn commie.
Yeah. So he'd be very disappointed in me. Anyway, and then when I sit down, fan blowing on the back of my head.
blowing your hair emo. Pushing your hair emo.
Looks like a rock star, though.
So when you get done, you step out and you look like Davey Havoc, AFI 2012.
And then I sit there mad as the fan blows on the back of my head loud. And then I'm like, I have to live like this. Anyway.
It's like you're crapping in an Air Force base.
Yeah. That's my life.
And then you turn the fan off, she wouldn't know, though. You turn it off while you're crapping.
Well,
and then flip it back on when you're done.
It's a pain in the ass switch in the back because it's some cheap Chinese garbage. And then it's like... And
Unplug.
No, because it's plugged in behind the toilet. Anyway, it's this whole...
You got it all. It's hardwired into the house now.
He needs a tiny man just to shut off the...
It's the middle of the night. I'm tired.
You need a little welder.
Why? Anyway, so let's talk about soap again. So what's next for Groove? What are you guys doing next?
You were talking about soap dish,
Yeah.
and that kind of is a perfect segue in the sense. So we've been listening to a lot of customer feedback, and when we originally set off to make this our custom soap slabs, they're huge, and you guys have used them. They're like over half a pound.
Yes.
And for some people, and for smaller people, whether it be younger people, it's a little too big for their hands, or they didn't fit on the soap dish by the sink, or didn't fit next to the tub because it's a little too big. So one of our considerations, we're going to start making a different dimension bar. So it's going to be more of a square that fits onto your soap dish. It fits in your hand better. It's going to be just a couple ounces lighter. But it'll also bring the price point down so that you don't have to buy in and try a bar of soap for $15. It'll be much more in the range of like $9 or so.
Oh.
And
you should make it more expensive. Listen, don't let me give you business advice, but
it's
just be
still
like
15, but it's less.
He thought of this while the fan was blowing his hair forward.
you sell it for more, and you say specialty size, fits better, and more expensive, less soap. I mean,
person soap.
Well, to accommodate, we used to cut the full bars in half. We offer and even quarter slabs, which increases our labor extensively, and also as we keep cutting it, it delivers a product that's further away from our original vision of the product.
What you originally set out to do. It totally makes sense.
It's like a utility product. When you buy it at the price that we sell a full bar, you get a lot of great soap for per ounce per dollar. You know, and not everyone thinks about soap in a per dollar per ounce kind of purchasing. We do because we're soap nerds, and we're like freak out over that stuff. But which is something like a more streamlined experience, and that also allows us to streamline not only the production of it, but we're also going to have all of them now in like boxes that are eco-friendly boxes. We've always been a fan of zero waste.
Trying to keep that in our whole thing. There's not much waste in the soap that we do, but, obviously with a plant-based soap, trying to keep it environmentally friendly and that whole zero waste kind of thing. So, we're going to go, it's trouble finding a recycled box in this large size and then also purchasing 3 different size boxes for the sizes we're adding.
Yeah.
So just to kind of, being a young business starting out, we wanted to kind of, to compete with the big boys. We want to, some of the things we're learning as we develop a new business, So
when you order bundles, it would get to your house and you get all the soap, but then we felt like when it's finally in your hand, you were losing the customers and it's like you didn't know. They're like, oh, I love the blue one instead of I love Fresh and Clean, or I love the green one. What's that one? Trailblazer, So we want it to communicate, and our story and our brand to communicate all the way to the time we use the bar. And
because I do that too. I'm like, where's my burgundy one?
Exactly. Which is part of why we did that, because at the time we were starting the business, we didn't have the ability to really buy a whole bunch of packaging.
I've got an idea, and you have to promise to do it before I tell you, because that's
a terrible deal. Don't take it.
Whose side are you on, Sam?
Follow me to hell. It doesn't matter.
Selfishly, I effing love these. Yeah. I love it when he does the you have to agree to it before you know.
So while you guys were talking, I was thinking in my own mind.
He wasn't listening, did he?
Which I often do with everybody I talk to.
You were like, I have a recording of it right here. So,
he's like, I'm
pink bacteria. What's life?
So remember in the movies where, and this was like a popular thing back in like 70s and 80s, where prisoners would carve like weapons out of soap. Right?
They still do that. Shank.
Soap. But there was also like when the prisoners tried to escape from Alcatraz or whatever, they like carved a soap gun, right? You remember, and then they painted it black somehow so that they can trick the guards into thinking they had a real gun.
So you want the Groove soap black soap gun?
Yeah. Groove soap, Tom and him. Whoa, Samantha's now into. I told you it was a good idea.
You've heard of the AR-15. Now try the AR Soap Clean.
And it's an actual replica size, a Beretta black soap gun. I mean, it's
he's got a gun.
I mean,
he's got to be robbing liquor stores with our soap.
I mean, if your kid took that out and pointed at a cop, he's gonna get gunned down. There's no red tape, nothing. It comes with a warning, like, do not point this at a cop.
Do not brandish the soap.
You will need to wash the blood off your hand.
So, do you have the ability to do that?
Hand whittle the sun soap gun?
Well, I mean, we need a mold.
Yeah, we have to have a gun mold. That's the thing.
So I guess the prison soaps.
I don't know how great of an idea this is.
I'm telling you, it's a great idea.
I would like to do.
There's a lot of things we can do with soap.
I would like to do a long gun.
Okay, go to our chat
Can
room.
we do a long gun? I don't want to do a handgun. That's too predictable. I want to do a long gun.
Do like an
AR so clean. With everything
full-size
going,
AR?
How about a?
You hold it up like this.
How about
you just like rubbing
how
on
about
you.
a Kalashnikov?
Oh, like an AR. All right. What is that called?
AK-47.
AK-47. That is. It seems like a bigger, longer clip.
Well, it gives you more options for color though, with the wood stock. And,
okay.
I'm a visionary here.
What would that run to get a full size AK soap gun? I mean, what do you think you would have to sell that
honestly,
for?
We'd have to inquire on what it would cost to get an
molds.
AK mold.
But let's go the full distance and make people get a license before and make them wait 7 days.
Take soap
Fingerprint
classes.
and stuff. Background.
Go through a mental
evaluation.
You have to get a concealed carry permit in the state of Florida.
Or you can come see you guys and me and Tom out of the fairgrounds, and we'll give it to you on site. Just give it to you on site. We don't care. No waiting period.
We're selling soap out the trunk,
Yeah, we'll just give them out to everybody.
All right, so we'll put that on the back burner. Soap gun, put that down.
I do like how happy it made you, though.
Thank you guys for partnering with us, and we'll do it again. And maybe with the soap gun, we'll come up with some ideas.
It would look really weird. Somebody mentioned this in the chat room, and my imagination's going crazy. How odd would it be to see me nude, rubbing a gun all over my soapy body? Right?
I'm telling you. I mean,
you might have something going there.
I mean, to the gun nuts, and we have guys that love guns on that listen to our show. Those guys would love it.
There's 700 people involved in the Tom and Dan Outdoorsman page or whatever. Half of them will buy a soap gun for sure. And their wives are mad.
They'd hate it.
You're like, my son. Imagine if I brought home a soap gun and they gave it to my sons. I'd be like, whoa!
Oh, your wife would be so mad. If you think you got a bad fan for your pink mold now, double fan.
Yeah.
So where can people find Groove Soaps again?
So, you can go to groovesoaps.com. We also have Groove Soaps on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Right now, we're actually doing a spring clearance sale.
Nice.
So you can build your own bundle with every slab that we have on the website. You get over 30% off. So you build you have to pick 6 bars, but pretty much it'll.
Is this part of the new branding? You guys?
Yeah, we're going to clear out everything.
Clear out the old stuff. Out with the old, in with the new kind of thing.
But it's still awesome soap.
Yeah.
So
all our formulas are going to stay the same and everything like that. We're just redoing the packaging a little bit and the sizes and stuff like that.
It's an easy way for you to cheat these guys out of their great soap.
Yeah. It's going to be like we said. You pick 6 or more of your choice, and you'll get it for 30 to 30+% off. So
That's
around
awesome.
like $60 for 6 bars, depending on what you pick. And we do free shipping on top of that, which saves you another like $10. And it's enough soap. I mean, our full size bars that you guys.
I'm still using.
You've had it since November, right?
Yeah, I've had it since November.
You know,
I'll have to shoot
and these are
you
still
guys-
the old sizes that we're shipping out. So.
Yeah, I'll have to shoot you guys a photo of it. Like I burn through some soap, man. Like I am a soapman. I am not a body washman because I find that I get more bubbles that way. I like a bubbly shower.
And we have a nice lathery bar of soap, and you get super bubbly with it. So it's lovely.
I like that.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks so much. We'll talk to you again soon, and you'll hear about the soap gun as soon as we get in, some research and development.
We're working on it.
We definitely want to do another collaboration.
I'd like to actually make it fire a small projectile.
That's going to take a little more
I mean,
effort.
nothing harmful, but like a snap and pop.
Putting gunpowder and lye together. I don't see the problem.
I don't understand why people just don't like having fun anymore.
Gunpowder exfoliant.
As long
it's a
as
new excitement of soap making we never thought of.
If the barrel's metal and we have a trigger mechanism, I got it. All right.
Send us some blueprints.
Maybe we'll just make the handle soap.
We'll be right back with more Corporate Time.
That was funny. I like that. Let's start the show with a clown honk. I like that. We're back. Hey, we're back. A little clown was like, I'm like, hey, I like that. If we could start
working on my sound effects.
If we could start you know what? I never want to point over in that direction and ever say you're not doing enough because you do more than enough. But if you did want to add some sound effects to the show, I would be pro it. Okay. How feel you?
I like it.
You like it too? Should we, for very, very little money, I can get Samantha a very sizable sounding board and I can let her go nuts. If you want to do it.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous plan. I think we got to do it.
One.
I think she just proved organically that she needs it.
Or you do old school radio where they actually did the sound effects
off
with
a CD.
No,
I need a
props.
No, with like the honky horn into the mic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They just have a.
Well, that's what Ross does.
Yeah,
that's
get a kazoo, get a little air horn.
Yeah.
All of it.
A trombone.
They would just stack all the garbage around you.
The door stops and spring.
Okay. Yeah, spring.
A big gong.
No, you can't do big gongs anymore.
What? Why?
Stop Asian hate.
Oh,
because
okay.
it's like mocking. It's like a traditional instrument. You can't do that.
But what if it's just?
I made that up. I don't know if that's true or not.
When we do stories about bad driving.
Yeah, we might need one. All right.
Because then it goes.
What about a mini gong?
Yeah, mini gong. Do you remember the drummers? Do you want to talk about what you got?
Yeah, we can talk about it. Yeah.
Because
it was actually Andrea's idea.
I liked the drummers, and this seems like a '90s thing. I'm not sure if they still do it, but the drummers that have so many things around them.
It'll come back around. It always does.
That it's, wind chimes and
they become
the gong,
like a
the mini gong.
percussionist, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I even thought that was overkill, even when, like, most kids my age, I grew up wanting to be a drummer, right?
Like that he called them wind chimes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just things hanging here. It's like, what the hell is that?
Those guys are like bridging the gap between like drummer and percussionist, right? You know, like I always felt bad for the percussionist, you know, because I always wanted to be the guy behind the drum kit. So when I was watching, like, let's say Jay Leno, and I saw Kevin Eubanks and the Tonight Show
What's he up to now?
He actually does a show with Jay Leno still.
Oh, really?
They do like a show. Yeah, they sit down together and do like a podcast or something. I saw it. It's funny you even asked
podcast.
that. Yeah. But anyway, I would watch the show.
We need more podcasts.
And they'd have a drummer back there playing, and then they'd have a lady percussionist who would also fill in on vocals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then you had these weird drummers, like the drummers that you're kind of talking about are your big name arena rock, maybe progressive drummers, like your Mike Portnoy's, your Neil Peart or Pert. Those guys that their style of music is so intricate and technical that they feel like they need rototoms. They feel like they need kunga and bongos and as you say, wind chimes. And they got 9 cowbells. They don't have 1 cowbell. They have 9 cowbells. Yeah. You know, Steven Adler from Guns N' Roses had 1 cowbell. He was fine with that and all the meth he was doing. But then, you know, Neil Peart has 9 to 12 cowbells.
But you need them going down.
Different sizes. So you go... And then you get like a little Blue Man groupie in there, right?
And then behind them
is
a mini gong.
It's a mini gong. But it's more like a medium. I think Neil Peart had a full-size Wuhan flu gong. I think he had the big boy gong.
You have to put down your drumstick and pick up the mallet, right?
Or you kick it, you know, like,
okay.
like
it
depends on what
drum?
music you were playing. If you were in the band Rush, yes, of course you would use the correct implement to hit the correct instrument. You use mallets on your marimba, and you use drumsticks on your drum, and you use a giant felted mallet on your gong. But if you were in a hair metal band, like if you were playing in David Lee Roth's backing band, you're Greg Bissonette. I think that was his name.
Oh.
Check that out. David Lee Roth's backing band, drummer, Greg Bissonette. He was famous because he'd wear a wetsuit when he played.
Why do you wear a wetsuit?
What?
He had a mullet, a yellow
For
mullet.
Sweat?
He had a yellow, I guess a yellow mullet, and he'd wear a wetsuit.
Oh, that's a nice
It would hold
mullet.
your sweat
Show
inside.
Tom Greg Bissonette, and then he'd have a gong behind him, and he'd hit it with his elbow. He'd whack a stick on it. He'd throw a naked woman into it, you know? Depending on the music is how you use the gong, but I think it was purely for show.
I like it when a percussionist in a band has like a mini gong or like some sort of wind chime.
You love the wind chimes.
But only for one part of one song.
Yeah, the beginning.
like you're just like, and that's the only time
the beginning.
Like,
here is
the whole concert.
The night is very clear.
Yeah. And then it's like that whole concert is. I would, if I was the drummer or whatever.
Don't even set it up.
Like we won't do that part, right? You're gonna set it up for one part of one song in the entire concert.
I had a moment when I was playing in bands where I played in a band called Tweed, and we did this. I was a singer in this band. I wasn't a drummer. And on this particular, it was kind of a funky song. Like it was like I wouldn't say it was funk, but it was like more of a danceable, like kind of it had a good beat to it.
Yeah.
And I had congas at the time. And I said to the guys, I was like, we'll set them up on stage. And I'll add the congas to the parts I'm not singing and stuff like that. And so we did it, and it sounded good. But I cannot deny the fact, it did sound good. And we recorded it, and it sounded great. But I cannot deny the fact that myself and everybody else in the band hated me playing it on stage because it just looked ridiculous. It just looked nerdy.
Yeah.
It did. It just looked cornball.
Yeah. I think when you say kunga, it makes me laugh every time.
Bongos, kunga, marimba.
Unless you're in like a reggae band or some
Latin band.
Yeah,
like
Latin,
I get mad. I get mad when I see band. Like if you're a dad band playing at Froggers.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a gong, I want to go push it over because it's like, do you know where you're at, mother effer? You're at Frogger.
But I like the fact that you know that.
Take it so serious. We all know those guys.
I don't like the fact that they, at the end of it, like everybody's like, all right, it's 2 a.m. You guys are terrible. Get the hell out of here. We got to mop all this wing grease and barf off the Frogger's floor. And then you look around and there's some dad and he's getting his Gadzooks or Hot Topic shoes. The sparkles are all falling off of them because they're not made for durability. They're made for flash. And then he's going and squeezing his gong stand in the back of his old, what's he got? Dodge Magnum. What's he got? PT Cruiser. No, what was that other one that's worse than, there is a car, and I've never said this before. There is one car worse than a PT Cruiser, and it was the HHR.
Yeah.
What the hell was that? What did that stand for? HHR.
It was the knockoff of the PT Cruiser.
I think it was the same company. It was just a squared. This thing is a hunk of S. The HHR. If you have an HHR, call in. I want to talk to you.
I wonder if a lot of dad bands broke up.
Heritage High Roof.
The Heritage High Roof. That sounds like a haircut your dad makes you get. You ain't having long hair. You're going to the barber and you get yourself a goddamn Heritage High Roof.
It sounds like a racist haircut.
Yeah, it does sound like a racist haircut.
This guy's got the Heritage High Roof.
Yeah, that's how Max likes, right? Crystal told me that. Crystal's like, my son likes his alt-right haircut.
Heritage High Roof. A lot of dad bands broke up because of COVID, right?
Yeah, they couldn't do their regular gigs.
Well, because they have families, so they couldn't even get together to practice because their old lady's yelling at them not to get COVID.
Don't leave the house.
Yeah, not to get COVID, and they're only doing it for the love of the game. So there's no other reason.
Yeah.
And
Terry got COVID. Oh God.
Yeah. So then, and if you don't practice,
and they're not in good health, so I bet you when you say COVID broke up a lot of dad bands, I think it goes a little deeper than that. I don't want to say what I mean, but you know what I mean.
It's just like I feel like a lot of dad bands started organically in the fact that like they just got together.
Hey man, you want to jam?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. What about COVID and the idea of being bored? Now, neighborhood dad bands may be on the rise. Because if you had your garage
but COVID's
open,
done, then they're back to work.
Now you formed a band. You had like 2 years to like really woodshed with some of your friends in the garage on your cul-de-sac.
Well, you're right. I guess it could have formed.
You could have formed a band on your cul-de-sac. You could have had Catman Mike on the bass. You could have pulled out your trumpet.
Dr. Ghoul.
Dr. Ghoul
on keyboards, with a long top hat. Your wife could be lead singer because she got big old tees. She could be up there, jack those tees up in a bikini top like Dua Lipa. You got your trumpet. You're going to need like a Tommy and Max
the drift car driver.
Does he play anything?
He's more of
hype man.
The hype man, i.e., guy from Monty Python.
Why don't you guys do a dual singing kind of thing? Why don't you guys do like cul-de-sac Lincoln Park?
Yes.
It starts with land.
So the origin of dad bands, I imagine a bunch of dad nerds get together, they start jamming, right? Then
music stores are 65% responsible for all dad bands. If we had no music stores, world would be a better place.
Then the one of them, the most ambitious one, says like, "Hey, my buddy's a manager at Froggers or at whatever bar.
We need to do some gigs, man. That's the only way we're going to get discovered."
He said we could play, and they'll give us a free bar tab.
We got to start on jam night first.
Yeah.
And test us out.
And then there's no money. It's like, hey, we can get all the Miller Lights we could drink, and let's go perform.
Wait a minute, was I in a dad band?
I mean, you're not just whistling toothpick.
Well, a lot of bands start off pre-dad band and then just turn into dad bands once they're dads. But
why don't we, as a radio show, start a band? Hear me out. No one's ever done this before. No radio show. Just hear me out before you start crapping on it.
Well, it's Samantha. Oh, well, who's playing? Samantha's got to play drums
or sing.
She can sing.
Oh, yeah.
I think you put the beauty. You put the beauty up front, right? Like people don't want to see me. You put Lil Trollman in the back. I'll hold the beat down for you guys. Dude, you let Pretty Girl up in the front and get the guys up to the front, sticking the money in the money jar.
Samantha, lead singer. I could play bass.
Yeah, you bass. We'll
you
be the
play drums.
Section. Yeah,
we'll throw my husband in there on guitar.
Yeah,
your husband
we got a dad band. Oh, Tony Rage.
Well,
he's working with us a little bit. No, we'll have lead and rhythm, and that'll work out really nice.
Well, I actually
they can trade leads.
One of them should play bass because I am horrible.
Okay, well, what are you going to do? Well, why don't we build you a big box?
He's just on tambourine.
Hold on.
I'll get a box.
Okay, we'll build a box for Tom, and we'll put a fog machine in there, some lights on it, some buttons, and you can stand there with a stick and hit a cymbal and look like a big fat
we also know you can do turnstiles too, right?
Oh, yeah, you can DJ.
We forgot that you learned how to scratch.
Yeah, because Dizzlefunk taught you.
Dizzlefunk taught you.
What if we got you DJ Muggs?
I'm more of a box guy.
I have real tears going out of my eyes.
All right, bye-bye.